Taking time for your health. The African American Wellness Watch. Trusted information for us, by us. Dr. Mike Lenore and other experts from around the country and around the world have the latest on how you and your family can get healthy and stay well. It's time for the African American Wellness Watch. Well, Happy New Year. Welcome to the African American Wellness Watch. I'm your host, George Strait. Dr. Mike is off today. As I said, Happy New Year and Happy New Year's resolution in 2024. I know a lot of you have made resolutions to exercise more in 2024, but that works great on January the 1st and 2nd, maybe even the 10th or the 12th. But how about in February and March? What happens to those resolutions? And I know that we all feel bad when we don't sort of meet our own expectations. But we've got the perfect person to sort of talk our way through all of this and help us keep to our resolutions and also not make us feel bad when we don't live up to them. I'm talking about Leon. Leon B is a fitness and personal trainer. Been in the fitness business for more than 15 years. He's clearly fit. Just take a look at him. So Leon, what do we do on we were great in January the 1st, great in January the 2nd. Man, by the end of January, those muscles start to hurt and all of this. I don't know if I can get up anymore. But what do we do about that?
Yes. And thank you for having me, George. I greatly appreciate it. And, this is definitely a hot button issue going into 2024, but just always health and wellness is always a hot button issue for our community and staying on track for long-term health and wellness, because that benefits us all. If each person takes care of their health and wellness, then we can all be assets to the community. But the main thing that I definitely wanted to hit on for people to stay consistent is it's not really a physical thing. It's more or less taking it easy on oneself mentally, because a lot of times what happens is we get into these routines, we write down our goals, we're motivated, right? And that motivation is very strong for the first couple weeks, as you had mentioned, when you're the new year started, you're excited, everybody's talking about it, working out, people are at the gym, but we hit a point, and a lot of times we hit a life happens, right? So we maybe get thrown off of our schedule somehow, and that perfect schedule that we had mapped out gets interrupted, by kids or work or, whatever it may be. And
or sometimes you just don't want to get out of bed and go to the gym that morning.
Exactly. So the main thing that I tell people is to, one, take it easy on yourself as far as if you miss a day, if you miss 2 days, just get back on it. If that means just taking a walk and getting outside, or stopping for 5 minutes, if it's a 5-minute moment where you can stand up in the office, when you think about it, take that as a win. Right. So we want to just stack as many wins as possible. Right. It's not about being perfect. It's not about if I didn't get up at 6 a.m. or, if I missed the alarm clock, okay, regroup later on that day. You might have 10 minutes after a meeting or something like that, and you go for a walk, because what this does in your mind is it's a win for you. So it creates that constant positive reinforcement that we put our mind to something, even though it didn't happen at 6 a.m. or when we initially planned for it, we still got it done. So
there's one thing that I hear a lot of people talk about, especially with getting back into a routine. They work out for a couple of days, and then next week, things start to hurt.
Yes.
And that causes them to stop as well. So how do you work through that?
Yes, working through that, I would say, one, to start very simply, right? So if try not to go too hard. That's another way to kind of take it easy on yourself and start on planes that you're familiar with. And if you're not familiar, find a person or a group in which you can get some progressive, what they call like progressive strength training or progressive programming, so that not, being sore is not necessarily the most beneficial thing for you to, that's not the determining factor whether you had a good workout or a bad workout. Some people think that if I'm not sore, if I'm not, pushing myself to the limit, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. But as I mentioned before, those small wins, just getting the heart rate up for 10 minutes in that day or something like that, that's good. But if you are reach that point where you're sore, slow it down. Rest and recovery is just as important as going hard and being sore. So when you get to that point, you need to also check in with yourself and understand, look at your sleep, because a lot of people don't look at those, sleep, recovery, making sure that you're eating enough so that your muscles can recover. And then taking a day or two off from doing that routine that may have made you sore, scale it back a little bit. If you went 45 minutes, the day before and you're feeling sore the next day, it's okay just to do 20 minutes of something less strenuous, maybe a stretch session that's 20 minutes. So that's how you kind of get past that soreness, and understanding that you don't have to be, we're just stacking wins. So you don't have to push yourself to the brink every workout, and like I said, recovery is just as important as going hard on a daily basis. So making sure you're getting, and sleep is the number one thing. If you can try to get 6 to 8 hours of like what I call quality sleep, where you're actually breaking away from your computer, breaking away from your screen for a good 30 minutes before you actually close your eyes, to give your body and your mind time to break down, that's going to help with that, majorly help with that recovery and rejuvenation of the muscle. So you actually get more of a benefit from what you're doing instead of keep pushing. So that's how you avoid some of that burnout too.
So I think what I hear you saying is that to sort of make it past those first few weeks of your resolution, that don't be so hard on yourself.
Yes, correct.
Sort of make sure you have realistic goals. If you haven't been exercising for a whole year, don't expect to be exercising every day.
Correct.
That'll just set yourself up for failure, I would guess.
Yes.
And if you do miss a couple of days, well, you miss a couple of days. I mean, what's the big deal, right?
Exactly. And think of it like, a lot of times we put ourselves on the back burner when it comes to our health and wellness for whatever reason. Like, we'll make it to work, we'll make it to social functions, we'll do everything for other people, but at the end of the day, we're our greatest asset. So, and we can show up, if we take care of ourselves, then we can show up better for others. So just making sure that people understand that, this is the time for you. It's an important time to take out for yourself so that you can apply it and do well in the other aspects of your life.
Well, Leon, I'm motivated, and I know that our audience is going to be motivated as well. Look, thanks so much. Again, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to our audience as well. And all these tips and more are on our website, aawellnessproject.org. That's aawellnessproject.org. Again, I'm George Strait, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.